That's why people hate him. People don't dislike him. People actually hate Ruto.
Oh, it's not just...
They don't dislike him. They hate him. They hate him because of what he's doing.
It's a strong word.
It is. I'm telling you, this is a fact. When all the programs that you're working with are not working. Shifsha and my friend, it's called Kinudia.
Yeah.
Kinudia has added a T.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that word. Kinudia say sha, she, and then I added a T. I don't know but you know you've seen it. So all these things are not working, Jed.
Yeah.
If I was a president, I would not allow that. If I was a president of this republic, Jed, I would not be standing there saying, I am sending my people to be watchmen and cooks. And I'm proud. Jed, I'll be negotiating for serious jobs for our people. Serious jobs. Not these useless jobs that we talk about. Holiday imefika, lakini Wakenya wako mawaya. What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house, this is not Sogoi. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post-Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.
A very good day to you and welcome to Philip Kisia Unscripted this particular Friday. I'm so glad that you've joined us once again for this conversations we say we hope will help our political leaders in making better policy decisions and informed political moves. This is the last conversation I'm having with Philip Kisia in 2024, and I hope we're going to talk about the progress that this government has made, if any, and the realities that are on the ground. Philip, it's always a pleasure to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. Philip is a leadership and governance expert, former Nairobi town clerk. He has been also CEO at KICC. I know the week has been tough for you. You lost your mother, but how are you in general?
Well, Jed, I'm okay. Yes, indeed, we've lost our mother, my stepmother, Mama Margaret Mwihaki, and a great supporter of President Ruto, at least when you talk about the hustlers, when you're selling the hustler narrative, because, you know, my stepmother is a businesswoman, or was a businesswoman, and she originates from Kiambu. So when I tell you that our family is diverse, it is indeed diverse. But Margaret left us on Tuesday at 7:50. May her soul rest in eternal peace. I mean, it brought memories, because about 8.5 years ago, exactly where we were sitting, the family gathered here to see off my biological mother. She was going to India again for cancer treatment. So she basically had requested for that particular meeting so that she can hand over the family to her co-wife, Mama Margaret Mwihaki. So those memories played back. They've been played back this week, but we've accepted God's will. I didn't know it is so difficult. Of course, I lost my mother, I've lost my father, I've lost my brothers. But this one was difficult because being the eldest in the family, I had to more or less authorize, in consultation with the family, to authorize the doctors not to resuscitate my mother again if she had heart failure. Because the same day she had gone through heart failure, she was resuscitated. And the doctors asked me whether we'd want to resuscitate. And when I asked them, they said, you know, the chances were very slim because they were putting the chances of our survival below 10%. I didn't know it was that difficult, because even after conferencing, it was quite a difficult moment to sign those documents and to give the doctors a go-ahead. But may her soul rest in peace. I'm sure she has joined my mother, Mama Grace. They are both now in heaven and they are watching over us. I would have cancelled this program, but because of those two great women and because of the value I place on women, I have decided that I'm going to be fired today. Fire in honor of those two very special women. And I'm also because, you know, Ruto came into power because of the power of women, their prayers, you know, their blessings. And sometimes I wonder why Ruto has been turned into a turncoat All the things they promised for women have not been delivered. Free diapers, free this. Nothing has been delivered. Nothing has been delivered for women. It even saddens me to see many women, but I'll give you two examples. Aisha Jumwa, who fought very hard for him, thrown out of cabinet, and other fellows brought in called skilled, to bring in skills. I don't know what skills Aisha Jumwa was lacking, but these are people who should benefit from their hard work. And of course, the other one is Millicent Omanga. These are women who fought for this government. So if nothing else, even if you are a total failure, at least honor women. At least even honor Mama Mwihaki, who initially supported you. Honor these women, these two women, and all other women who prayed for you, who supported you while you are looking for office.
Of course.
The other thing...
condolences, Kisia, I have to say, from Nairobi Review, Herman Manyora's platform, and of course even our viewers. Yeah. Let's get into
thank you. So the other, of course, that was part of my reflection this week. That life, you're here today and tomorrow you're off. I was with her 3 weeks ago, and you can see now. But life has to go on. Yeah. The other one is the meeting between President Uhuru Kenyatta and President William Ruto. I mean, it was refreshing to see the president shukering. He's been up there in some tree, but at least he climbed down and went to see the fourth president of the Republic of Kenya. And I'm happy that the communication that was released by the fourth president was very clear. Yeah, so it left no doubts that the fourth president reminded the president a few issues that we've been talking about, issues to do with extrajudicial killings, that his administration has overseen the deaths of our children, and that we can never forget. We may attempt to forgive him. We've not forgiven him because he has never asked for forgiveness, so we can't forgive him, but we shall never forget that his administration oversaw the deaths of little children, our children. The other thing that the president brought up, Uhuru Kenyatta, is the issue of respecting Kenyans. He reminded President Ruto that the bosses are the people who put him in office, the people of Kenya. So there is need for them not to look at them and talk to them in a condescending manner, like he has been doing from the time he took over office. He has been very condescending, and calling us names, calling us people, lacking total respect for the Kenyan people. I'm happy that President Uhuru reminded him that there's need for that respect if he expects Kenyans to respect him. Then the very, very hot matter that we've been talking about, the issue of IBC. IBC. Hot potato. I'm happy it came up during their discussions, and I hope, because we as Kenyans and many stakeholders have given President Ruto an ultimatum. It is not a favor we're asking him. We are asking him to constitute IEBC without further delay. We gave him 100 days, failure to which there are repercussions. And on this one, we shall go down together. We shall not allow him to play around with our lives. We shall not allow him to continue disobeying court orders, to continue ignoring our constitution that we fought for, that he never fought for. The other thing that was brought up hot on his heels was the cost of living and high taxation. These are the things we've been talking. But in closing that issue, I'm happy. I am so happy that President Kenyatta looked up President Ruto in his face directly. Yeah. And he told him something that very many people, probably only Philip Kisia and a few other people can tell him. Stop fighting with Kenyans. You are at war with your own people. Stop this nonsense. Stop this nonsense. Get to work. Do the job that you are given. Stop this condescending attitude. Don't lecture us as if we are children. Spare that lecture of yours. Shindwe, Riswa.
President Uhuru Kenyatta there.
This is not from me to him. Riswa. Ashindwe kabiswa.
Always.
Pepo mbaya yeye.
Hey. Always, it's good to start with your highlights too. Those are your reflections. But before we talk about my conversation about closing the year, what is that thing that has captured your eye and I shouldn't miss?
This one you can't miss.
Yeah.
My very good friend, the late Michael Kijana Wamalwa, who was my very close friend, he said this about how many years now? Almost 20 years ago. Actually, over 20 years ago. In 2003. Look for that video.
At the moment, the mention of the word Kenya in any international forum evokes cynical comments. A country in which corruption is the official policy. A country in which hero worship has been taken to the highest extent. We want to change all that and make Kenya a country that all Kenyans will be proud of. A country whose name is mentioned in any international forum, everybody will say that is a country that has a proper government.
We call him Mike.
Mike.
Yeah. Call him Mike. Now Mike has, 20 or so years ago, he's the same things that he said. If Mike was to wake up today from his grave, he would not believe that 2 decades later, that we've not been able to deal with the things that they have started dealing with President Emeritus Kibaki. Because he's talking about, at that time, that Kenya's respectability had really gone down globally. That nobody wanted to hear that. Immediately you mentioned Kenya, the only thing that they could see are corrupt fellows and thieves. So people are so cynical about our country, issuing cynical comments. And what I liked about that video when I was watching it, and it's a replay, 2 decades later, something that Kibaki had stopped, completely stopped, hero worship. You saw, especially these characters who have been brought into government. The ones who are already there fear Ruto. They fear him. They fear the fellow. But the ones who actually took me by surprise are the characters who have just got into government. They are now worshipping him. Hero worship. And I thought these things ended with KANU. I thought President Kibaki taught us some good manners. Are we going back to the KANU, bad manners of KANU? What is the problem? I think we need completely to transform this nation, to get back to the trajectory that President Kibaki had put us. A country of performance, a country that is free of corruption, a country that had a vision. We need change, but unfortunately, in my own view, that desired change can never be achieved with one William Ruto. It will never be achieved because he has never been a change manager. So for you to expect Ruto to change anything, this man is just dreaming. He keeps on talking about, I'm going to transform this country. I'm going to shame those people who are doubting my 2 years. And there's nothing to show for 2 years. 48% of your time has been consumed and you have nothing to show. Because even if he performed so well in the 2 years, 9 months that are left, he performed exceedingly well. Jed, he can only get a C minus. Actually, a C minus. That's the best that this guy can get.
He was saying,
he's the best.
What will you say when people open their houses, affordable houses?
Which affordable houses? This is all corruption.
Speech, but we'll get into
this
that.
Is, Jed Bwana. No, come on. He talks about delivering 200,000 units per year. How many has he delivered? Let's start from there. Apart from people stealing, we know the cement and, and steel. and then taking our land and then reselling our land to ourselves. And then you saw this other scam, Jivanji, land that is ours, being mortgaged. Bloody hell, what are you talking about, Jed? Sometimes be serious. Jed, sometimes be serious.
That's actually him.
Jed, my friend, be serious sometimes. That is his baby, affordable housing. And you've not heard him talk about it. Has he spoken about Jivanji? Has he questioned anybody? Has he explained to us why a public asset has been mortgaged? And I know very well because I ran this city for 3 years, Jed. And I was born here. And I know how government operates. You cannot mortgage a government asset. How was public asset, not government asset, a public asset mortgage? Was Treasury involved? Who was involved? Who gave the okay? That money must be refunded. Because those are the things, once we get Ruto out of office, we shall put him on a machine. He must explain to Kenyans what was going on. Now, the other one, which is a highlight as we dive into the program, look for this video, Magufuli, because I'm trying to prepare you for today's interview. Look for Magufuli, John Pombe Magufuli. Look for that one.
Basi kama tumerogwa basi mtuombee nenyi wachungaji, mapadri, mashehe. Kama ni mapepo basi yakaondoke. Na ndio maana mtu ukijaribu kuzungumza kutetea masilahi ya nchi, unaonekana you are so different. Mtu amechaguliwa na watu, unakuta kwenye jimbo lake umaskini ni mkubwa, lakini anatetea haya ya upumbavu. Lakini unamkuta huyo mtu siku za nyuma alikuwa ameshaji identify mwenyewe kama mtetezi wa mazingira na nini. Amekuja tu amepinda ghafla hapa, unaweza kujijua kuna mdudu gani ulimuingia mpaka akili hii kabadilika haraka hivi. Kwa sababu masilahi ya nchi, it's not politics. Ni watu tunaowaongoza.
That's John Pombe Magufuli, former president of Tanzania. He's talking about the issues that his country is facing and how communication is important. But what is your highlight from this?
Listen, Jed. John Pombe Magufuli, and may God rest his soul in eternal peace. He's talking about servant leadership. John Pombe Magufuli is saying that when you hear people critique, they are not stupid. They don't have demons. They don't have any pepombaya. But he's saying, if you think indeed they have pepombaya, then bring those prayer warriors of yours to pray for us. But, listening to John Pombe Magufuli, I have started doubting whether we, Kenyans who have been agitating for change, good governance, free from corruption, I have started doubting whether the president was right. Actually, I've come to the conclusion that the president, he called us, we may be stupid, that we are people. But I think he was pointing the finger at himself. I suspect that the president has a problem. I suspect. I also suspect that he could be very stupid. Okay? And for those who have joined the choir, for those who are now just licking the president and massaging his ego and making him think that he's a good guy when he's a horrible and terrible guy, for those who are doing it, what John Pombe Magufuli is telling them is stop bootlicking. Stop it. Stop it. He's also told them that they are turncoats. Those characters who the other day were abusing Ruto. The other day they were talking about how Ruto corrupt Ruto is, how incompetent Ruto is. They had no good word to say about the president. Now that they have joined government, not even 100 days have ended. Can't you even allow your saliva to dry up before you start praising this guy who is incompetent and why can't, you don't have shame? These are total turncoats. But in all these things that we are seeing, I call Kenyans as we approach the new year that we must take action.
Okay.
That nobody is going to change this country for us. If you expect Ruto to do it, you are dead. you are very dead.
Let's get into our conversation. Kenya marked 61 years of independence on the 12th of this month. That's yesterday. And as we all inch closer to the end of the year, it's important for us to look at the issues facing this country from the lenses of President William Ruto's speech during the Jamhuri Day celebration. He marked significant milestones in his administration, saying there is economic recovery, there is debt recovery, there are promises of social welfare. He said, look, the country is moving towards a better trajectory. My conversation with Kisia is based on this because the reflection or the reality on the ground, according to some people, it's very, very different. He says UNGA has reduced, but do you believe UNGA has reduced? Has it really? Kisia, 61 years after independence, we marked 61 years, and then you ask yourself, when you look at 2024, have you seen progress, or have we fallen short of the promise that we got after independence that we're going to have a better country away from colonizers? We can actually make things work.
You know, Jed, at least the president should have sold us hope. Just hope alone. There's one thing that Musalia said, and maybe in another 1 year, we shall again review the progress. Musalia at least was a bit truthful. Musalia said it will take 3 years for us to recover, for the pain to reduce. But the president, because he's a liar, he is indeed, he told us that when he drops the Bible down and picks a sword, that we shall start drinking milk and honey. I want you to, if you know, when you are doing a good job, when the economy is thriving, when there's justice, there's a feel good. Some countries, particularly the Nordic countries, measure their people's happiness, the happiness index. Look for that video where, I think it was in Migori or somewhere, where that district commissioner, whatever you call them nowadays, first of all, he was addressing almost an empty stadium. It happened in Embu, we saw that one. But look for that video.
Jamani, simwacha tusome speech ya rais. Simwacha tusome speech ya rais. Mwache tu tusome speech ya rais. Sawa sawa, asante. Haya, thank you.
It's the DC of Migori, Kisia, is saying, Tulieni nisome speech. Please give me some time, I read this speech. And no one is having it.
Jed, you are an intelligent man, young man. The man is sweating because he had to remove his kofia. He had to remove, and you're sweating. Sweating. It's as if you had come from a shower, sweating. The people made him sweat. Just a handful of people who he was addressing. Yeah. They said they didn't want the speech. They did not want to listen to that speech. And it looks like that was what happened almost everywhere in the Republic of Kenya. In Uhuru Gardens, you saw, was it full? No. Even after they mobilized, was it full? No. Now, if people were indeed happy and things are working, they would want to come and share that day with the person who is doing it. But because they don't want to be reminded of the pain, they run away from him. Uhuru Garden empty, all the stadiums empty, everywhere empty. And people even were saying it, like in Embu, that we have better things to do than to listen to that speech. That is a country that is doing very badly when people are unhappy. In fact, I think President Ruto needs to reflect. How come that it has come out? And this is a fact, Jed. He is the most hated president. He is the fifth, but the most hated president since independence. These are facts. They are there. You can see it. Go to social media, everywhere. Go anywhere. Go to social places. People are unhappy. Okay? He has also told us that he is aware that Kenyans are going through pain. So if the economy was doing well, that pain should have disappeared. But let me say this, Jed. When the economy is doing well, the government will not be over borrowing. You borrow, okay, when you're not doing well. But if you have excess liquidity, you have money, you use that one. But you only borrow to finance the gap. This government is heavily in debt. It is even starving you and me from borrowing. Banks are not interested in you and small and medium-sized enterprises. Why? Because they can loan government, and government is public funds. They would rather not do any work, but give the government money. And when they give you and me money, they are giving us at 28%. Is that an economy that is doing well?
Yeah.
President Ruto is living in utopia. The cost of living is high. And that is why people are on the streets. That's why people hate him. People don't dislike him. People actually hate Ruto.
Oh, it's not just...
They don't dislike him. They hate him. They hate him because of what he's doing.
It's a strong word.
It is. I'm telling you, this is a fact. Because it is a pain that they don't hate him because he's black. They don't hate him because of his tribe. Because of the pain that he has muted towards the people of Kenya. Okay? It's a pain, Jed. It is a pain that people are going through.
Some people in government are saying it's tribal,
They're
saying these pastors are criticizing because they want Kenya.
No. I think that's being stupid. People will not hate you because of a tribe. I've just told you that my stepmother died. Is my stepmother Luhya? No, she's from Kiambu. She's a Kikuyu. So can I hate a Kikuyu? I hate people who are corrupt. I hate people who disrespect other people. I hate people who mute violence and kill other people and kill human beings like animals. I hate them. I hate them. And that you cannot change me. I hate them. And I can tell you, if you're a human being, you will hate somebody who does those things that should never be done to human beings. Okay? So this man is living in utopia. When you talk about the cost of living is high. When he talks about an economy doing well, and in 2 years he has borrowed close to just over 3 trillion shillings in 2 years. In 2 years. Almost $1.5 trillion every year. How can you be doing well when you're borrowing so heavily? Locally, internationally. How can you be doing well when IMF is here to inject, to inject some life in you, to get you out of high dependency because you're heading towards ICU. How can you be doing well? How can you be doing well when all the programs that you're working with are not working? Shifsha and my friend, it's called Kinuthia. Yeah. Kinuthia has added a T. Yeah. I don't know how to say that word. Kinuthia say sha, she, and then I added a T. I don't know but you've seen it. So all these things are not working, Jed. Yeah. You cannot therefore claim that the economy is doing well. If it is doing well, he doesn't know how to. He does not have to announce. He does not have to remind us. We just will feel it. Jed, we shall feel it. This is the worst Christmas. The worst Christmas since I was born. The worst Christmas. Worst. How can you say we're doing well? So how can you say we're doing well?
People are unhappy. But then he says, look, we are no longer under debt distress. He says Kenyans should be comfortable because the quality of life will improve. But then you ask yourself, you look at the whole year, they've talked about debt distress since, I think, March, April there. But then do you see that there is an impact directly on people's lives when you say...
Which impact?
There is no debt distress now.
No, which impact? Even... Jed, how can you talk about there's no debt distress when already IMF is knocking on your door saying that they want to pump in some blood because you're about to die? Yeah? They have come here with a program to save you. How can you say you're doing well? If you're doing well, will they be coming here? They will not be coming here to review your books and to inject more money into your government. So we're definitely doing badly. But again, Jed, let me ask President Ruto, in 2 years, how many kilometers of roads has he built? How many? How many hospitals has he built? How many? How many? Even the houses they talk about, most of them were started by President Uhuru. So he's completing them. So can he show us how many more megawatts of power has he put into the grid? How many? Apart from the ones Uhuru has started. How many? You see, those are the measurements. Other than people feeling good, people having dispensable income in their pockets, people seeing development, there's no development. There's nothing. So Jed, I think you also live in utopia. You also need utopia.
He talks about Taifa Care, and he says, look, NHIF contributions have gone down. What impact does healthcare turning to Taifa Care lead directly to a person's life? Do you believe this is something that Kenyans can say, at least we have now something that can work if we give it time?
Jed, in fact, I forgot to mention something. These IMF fellows who are here, the Deputy MD, Clark, who is here, he has come to give us something called Extended Credit Facility and another one called Extended Fund Facility. These two facilities are normally given to countries, middle-income countries that are doing extremely badly. Okay? That they are the ones who are heading to ICU. So it's a facility to cushion you. I think the program started in 2021. He has been the president for 2 years. Why would we still invite IMF to come and give us this facility if we are doing well? Okay? IMF, when you see IMF here, it is an indication that we are doing extremely badly and they are coming to infuse some life into our bodies. Back to your question about Taifa Care. You know, you can see, first of all, let me say, Jed, health, public health, a healthy nation, having a healthy nation is important. Having healthy people is important. That one we agree 100%. We don't discount. And we agree with him because that is what is captured in our aspirations of Vision 2030. Because we said there are certain bare minimums, and health is one of that. Although health is devolved, but you can still see the government really putting their fingers in the pie. And you wonder why. Were we stupid to say that there's need to devolve health? Okay? Health, you know, when you say that you are dealing with that matter, the first thing you need to have is a personnel. Because if you have medicine, you have a hospital, but there are no personnel, can you provide good health care? No. Our doctors there, they are soon going on strike again. Why? Because they are not being taken care of. President Kibaki, when he came, he said interns would be paid a minimum of 100K. Uhuru came and gave 150. This one was supposed to give something on top. But he has taken us backward to 70,000 shillings, half of what Uhuru was giving. So minus doctors, and I say this with a lot of respect for doctors. When doctors are not working, and they work very hard, by the way, like the ones who are treating my mother at Coptic, they gave their best. They are honest. You can see, you know, they are really, they put in so many hours. Okay? So a government that has failed to take care of doctors is not interested in ensuring that we have affordable health care for its people. Okay? Are we building new hospitals? Are we equipping them? Are we providing medicine? The only thing that this regime has been successful in doing is collecting billions of money from Kenyans. Billions of money from Kenyans. Billions. Which are not being accounted for properly. Billions of shillings. Okay? That is what we are seeing. Jed, how can somebody who does not have a doo-doo in his head, doo-doo in his head, invest 104 billion shillings on some system? Not on medicine, not on, not on equipment, not on doctors. 104 billion on some system. This is outright theft. Outright theft.
Okay.
So, Ruto had a good idea. He had captured our aspirations, which are in Vision 2030, but his strategy of rolling out is completely out of tune. These things should have been done in stages. Roll it out in stages. Do some trials. Even take a few counties, 5 counties, and say, let's focus on 5 counties. Let's see how it works. And then you learn from that.
Yeah.
And then you improve it as we move along. And then you now roll the entire country. Why were you so in a hurry to, switch off this one and start this one? This one was working. The only thing we're saying, about NHIF is that there was corruption. If indeed there was corruption, and I agree with President Ruto that, there were cartels in NHIF. I agree with him to that extent. But if he's determined in fighting corruption, why didn't he fight the cartels? Who are these cartels that he cannot fight? That he has to change everything because of cartels. Now tomorrow the same cartels move to this Chief Shah and the other thing that Kinuthia calls.
Yeah.
To run away from there, because they are known for running. They run from here to the next. If they now move to this Chief Shah thing, will he again dismantle that one? Will he? Will he dismantle Jed? Will he dismantle?
No.
Confront the challenges that are being faced head on. Don't just call, they say we are rebranding. They don't even understand what rebranding is. They have no clue of what rebranding is all about. Just changing a name and calling it, Taifa Care, does not mean anything. Has it changed anything? People are still dying. I was in hospital the other day, a day after my mother had passed on, and I met a prominent doctor, retired, and he was there with the wife, and they were saying, listen, I'm here, but this CIFSHA thing is not working. It's not working. So these things are not working, Jed. I think we need to be honest and frank with each other.
You talk about corruption and cartels in Taifa Care, and then you ask yourself, throughout 2024, we've been talking about audible oil deal. We talked about the G2G deal. Kipruto calls it gangster to gangster. And then the president comes and pledges transparency, pledges accountability. Why do we still have to talk about corruption every single time a president makes his speech about the progress they're making?
Jed, I will answer you with the video. Yvonne's a video. You know Yvonne?
Yvonne Okwara.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yvonne. Look for that video. Yvonne has the answers that you're looking for. But play that video.
Okay.
Now, Kenyans could be consuming contaminated rice after it emerged that a consignment of rice totaling 2 million kilograms, which had been declared unfit for human consumption, was diverted into the market. Documents obtained by from the Kenya Bureau of Standards shows that the rice that was imported from Pakistan in September and October had failed the aflatoxin tests as it contained higher levels than locally permissible. And as Stephen Leto reports, despite the standards body's declaration that the rice wasn't fit, only a fraction was intercepted, with millions of kilograms sneaked into the market, exposing Kenyans to health risks.
Just a few days ago, KEBS established that there was 2 million kilograms. 2 million, not 20,000, not 200,000, 2 million kilograms released into the market that is not fit for human consumption. Unfit for human consumption. Toxic. Yeah? This is something that will kill our people. How did this thing come into our country? Not 20,000 kilos, not 200,000 kilos, 2 million kilos, 2 million kilograms released into the market during the festive period. Is that not corruption? Where are our agencies, intelligence, DCI, I don't know what, because it's a security matter that should have been picked by intelligence system. What action? I did not even hear him talk about this. Something that is going to kill your people. You are not even talking about it. He should have addressed this thing and told us what action is taking yesterday during his address. But because you don't expect him to talk about corruption, you know, he gave it a blind ear, a blind eye.
Yeah.
Cabs are in the market trying to mop out this thing. They have only got 23 tons. We have over 2,000 tons out there. Over 2,000 tons out there. And the Bremba is festive period. These things are going to be repackaged, are going to be done what and what have you. We must hold this government to account. If any deaths, if anything, if our people are affected because of such things, such careless mistakes, and you hear President not talk about it, this is somebody who is not committed to fighting corruption. It comes hot on the heels of this Shifsha thing, Adani.
Yeah.
No, Adani, this Adani thing. Just the other day. And then you are saying that he says he's committed to fighting corruption?
Yes.
Just the other day. Then you remember the other day again, you're so furious with us. You're so angry. Telling us, oh, you know, this, I knew this man was going to deliver. You people, you know, you're paper buyer. Because why? The Americans have told him, but this thing is no good. So instead of addressing the matter, he's turning the heat on us and become very angry.
What steps instead of pledging?
Jed,
instead of pledging and
you know,
accountability, what do you expect?
This is a regime that cannot fight corruption. Have you forgotten about fertilizer, the fake fertilizer? Have you forgotten? People ate money. Farmers never got the fertilizer. They got fake fertilizer. Have you forgotten? Edible oil. Have you forgotten? Has action been taken? No action has been taken. So this is a regime, Jed, that is not interested in fighting corruption. In fact, if there's anything, IMF, the deputy MD is here. Okay? Nigel Clark is here. IMF. He's talked about governance diagnostic. Yeah? It's a good way of saying that you people are just thieves.
Yeah.
You know, he's using some flowery language to say we're thieves. So they are coming here. They will be sending people the first quarter of next year to carry out a special audit about corruption. So if IMF indeed already has raised a red flag, they have not come to say that we are doing well, like during the Kibaki time.
Yeah.
They are just calling this thing big names. But in essence, is that you are a thief. You are just stealing. We must come and look at your books before we give you more money,
So
before injecting more money.
Are you telling
So,
Kenyans that there's no hope with this government when it comes to fighting corruption? Is that what
zero
you're saying?
hope. Jed, zero. Absolutely no hope. When it comes to fighting corruption, absolutely no hope.
Tuzoe.
Kwanza hao ndio corruption. They are themselves corruption. So how do you expect corruption to fight corruption? Jed, be serious, man.
Maybe finally you can tell me about youth unemployment has hit hard this country. And then government comes up with Kazi Maju, you know, guys that are applying to go abroad, work as security officers. Government says that there's even nursing jobs there. How do we fight this systemic problem that we've had in the country of all about unemployment cannot end? Government comes up with promises of creating opportunities to get skilled labor, but then people are still unemployed. Is there something that can be done?
You see, Jed, first of all, and I've said before, this country needs to invest in education. And not just basic and secondary education. We must invest in education. All these countries which we compare ourselves with, the Nordic, Sweden, Norway, and Finland, out of you, they have invested heavily in public health, road infrastructure, transport, education. Because education equalizes everybody. Education is the future. You would rather be starved for anything else but be given education. Because that is the only title you have that cannot be taken away from you once you've acquired it. And I'm not talking about fake degrees, like the ones Ruto has refused to deal with. Fake. He knows them. Okay? But instead of investing in education, you've seen what they're doing. They are making it impossible for those who come from poor families to access education. When you are told to pay, I don't know how much money. I don't know how much money. And then you start wondering, are we being serious? Because on the other side, there's this Grammy Award. I don't even know whether the president understands what Grammy Awards is all about. But he's standing there and telling Kenyans who have not paid doctors, our children have no food. He's telling us he's paid 500 million for some Grammy Award thing. Doesn't know what the Grammy Award is all about. Misplaced priorities. Completely. I don't know, and I hope it's not true. I don't know, you're always on social media. The president has, apparently the government has bought the latest Maybach. Since S68 or something. Running into hundreds of millions of shillings. Is that a priority? Can't you do, especially someone like him who came from a disadvantaged background, is that a priority? Is this a Grammy Awards a priority? Is it driving in a Maybach a priority? Are these things a priority? Why can't we use those meager resources to direct them where they're supposed to be? But coming back to your question, so you see, if we were exporting high quality labor, I would say yes, that we have more than we need, we're exporting them, like India's doing. Okay? India's all over, because they have more than they need. Because those people go and work and send us back foreign currency exchange. That's okay. But we don't even have them here. So what we're doing, we're exporting our people, labor, to go and clean toilets, to be watchmen, and taxi drivers. And we are so happy. We are happy about it. It is actually a government policy.
Very proud.
Very proud of that one, that this is what we are doing. It's so shameful, Jed. If you've traveled out of this country, you know what our people go through in those countries. It is not a secret. You know, they are treated in a very inhuman manner. They are not treated properly. I just pray that they have put in place proper mechanisms to ensure that our people, when they go to those so-called jobs, they are not mistreated. They are treated like human beings. Because, Jed, I would rather our people stay here, suffer here, than go to those places and be treated like animals.
Okay.
If I was a president, I would not allow that. If I was a president of this republic, Jed, I would not be standing there saying, I am sending my people to be watchmen and cooks, and I'm proud. Jed, I'll be negotiating for serious jobs for our people. Serious jobs. Not these useless jobs that we talk about. Okay. I want Mutua to give us, put in public the information. Say, I have sent, out of the 20,000 jobs that I'm talking about, 1,000 are in finance, 2,000 are in ICT, 2,000 doctors, which you don't even have doctors. But anyway, these are the things that we should be proud of talking about. But to tell us that you send our people to go and clean toilets and you're happy about it, I think it is stupidity of the highest level. I think that is people. They need to be prayed for. They actually need prayers. Yeah. They actually need serious prayers.
Then what do you think when the president says that when you speak like that, you don't have the facts? And that in his Jamhuri address,
give us the facts.
The people can feel the facts. The people can
Which
touch
people?
The facts.
Give us the facts. We are not stupid. We don't have people buyer. Give us the facts. We can read. We have gone to school. We can read. Table the facts. Don't waste our time. Table the facts. Tell us, this is what you have done. Yes.
But he says, look, if it's...
Give us the facts,
he says
Jed.
if it's...
Table the facts.
He says if it's economic stabilization...
Table the facts.
It's factual. He says if it's
what fact?
distress,
What fact?
he says it's factual. If it's,
No. What fact?
That's what he says.
You can't just make a mere statement. When IMF is here injecting oxygen because you're about to die.
Yeah.
Jed, how can you be doing well when you are borrowing so heavily and the IMF is injecting oxygen? You are dead. You are dead, Jed. You are so dead. And you're saying you're borrowing. You're just borrowing left, right, and center, and you're saying you're doing. How are you doing well when you're starving Wananchi from those resources? Wananchi are the ones who should be borrowing. Small and medium-sized enterprises are the ones who should be borrowing from the banks. You're starving them that money. They can't access that the money because government has taken that money. And you're proud saying you've done well. If you've done well, Jed, if we have done well, we shall feel it. You don't have to tell us. We'll just feel it.
Okay.
We are not feeling it.
Not.
We are feeling pain, hunger, and anger.
Thanks for tuning in to that conversation. Philip Kisia, Unscripted, last show of 2024. It's always a pleasure, Kisia, for you to wrap up with your final remarks and maybe something that you'd like this administration to kind of change or kind of do when it comes to 2025.
Now, Jed, I talk about the Grammy Awards. That's something you can do without. That money, President Ruto can pay interns. It is sufficient to pay 3,600 interns for 2 months. President Ruto, please, if you are a good man, cancel this bloody Grammy. We don't need it. Pay our interns. These are our children who have spent 6 years in school. President Ruto, use that money to buy 100 dialysis machines that we need so badly in public hospitals. President Ruto, use that money that you're buying Maybach, use that money to build level 3 hospitals in all the counties. President Ruto, use that money to buy cancer testing machines in the counties. Then we shall have respect for you. Then we shall be coming to Uhuru Garden to listen to you. Otherwise, we shall avoid you like plague. We shall continue avoiding you like plague, President Ruto. In fact, next year, you'll be addressing yourself and the security agencies in those public functions. The other thing which happened, and I want President Ruto to learn from what is happening. You saw what happened in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
You saw what happened in Syria, Jed.
Yeah.
After 50 years, their sad family was removed from power. And the man disappeared like a burukenge. Completely disappeared like a burukenge. The man was so powerful. He disappeared like a rat.
A burukenge.
A burukenge, a rat that is being chased by a dog. He disappeared. Okay? And people were saying, free at last. Damascus, free at last. Free at last. It is my prayer that Kenya will be free in this coming year. Free at last. Because power, Jed, is transient. Power is vanity. The sovereign power lays with the people. And these foreign fellows that you rely on, and even the army, they cannot defend you at the hour of need. They will also run like burukenges. The army will run like burukenges. The foreign powers will disappear like burukenges or like rats that are being chased by dogs. They will disappear. So remember, this primitive accumulation of wealth will not take you anywhere. Me, I'm now an orphan, total orphan. All my parents are now gone. Okay? Gone. But we shall go the same way. I'm going, I've declared that I'll be going. I don't know when. But even President Ruto and all of us will follow them. The only difference is, I'm told there are 2 doors. Those who have done good on earth, you'll be shown this door. This is the door. I know I'll go there because my mothers are there, my people are there. I don't know about President Ruto. If he doesn't change his ways, he may be told, ingia mulango hii. And immediately you get to that mulango, you start burning. And you are burnt like charcoal. I don't want my friend, because he's my friend. And I like him. He's my friend.
People don't like when you say that.
No, you see, I was brought up well, Jed. I know people don't like it. But I'm not going to run away from him because of his misbehavior. I'll continue talking, and I will talk. And I'm hoping that this Christmas, he'll go down on his knees and seek for forgiveness and pray to the true God. Not praying with those prayer warriors who take brown envelopes. Those are not helping him. Those are digging his grave. They are digging deeper, and he'll go down. Finally, play that song. 2 weeks ago I told you people are broke and you are laughing at me. Play that song, Kasongo. Now I said uongo. That guy, that mashairi said what?
Uongo. The shairi guy.
The uongo. Holiday imefika lakini Wakenya wako mawaya. Tuko mawaya, my boy. Tuko mawaya, my boy.
Suasi na furaha mwenzenu na weweseka. Nisemayo si mzaha, mifuko imepasuka. Maisha sasa karaha, Wakenya wanateseka. Holiday imefika, Wakenya wako mawaya. Watoto wako nyumbani, wazazi hawapumui. Wanapambana kazini kuanzia asubuhi, na wakirudi jioni mara nyingi wako hoi. Holiday imefika, Wakenya wako mawaya. Shida zimekuwa nyingi, umezidi ukasongo. Viongozi hawapingi hata kama ni uongo. Wamekuwa mashangingi kujifanya wanachongo. Holiday imefika, Wakenya wako mawaya. Hapa nashusha bendera, naondoka mwana kwetu. Kuna mambo yanakera, tuambiane wenzetu. Sote tumetekwa nyara, twaishi kama majitu. Holiday imefika, Wakenya wako mawaya.
We are wrapping up with that shairi, Kisia. Thanks so much. Maybe you can say something about why you're playing us this shairi today. Kasongo?
Kenya wako mawaya. Kenya wako mawaya. Kenya wako mawaya.
That conversation with Philip Kisia is a leadership and governance expert. Of course, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Kisia, wish people festive blessings.
Let me, on behalf of myself and my family, my wife, my children, my extended family, my friends, I want to wish Kenyans a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Be blessed abundantly. Let's forget about the pain. Let's prepare for next year. We shall overcome this pain. We shall overcome.
We shall overcome.
Even to my president and my friend and his family, I wish him a Merry Christmas. At least he'll have a Merry one. He'll have a Merry Christmas. And I'm sure he'll be singing Jingle Bells. But Kenyans, I can tell you, are in pain. Nawako mawaya.
Thanks for tuning in. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Have a good festive season. Goodbye for now.
What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house. This is not so going. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.